Am I audible and visible?
Yes, to both.
I prefer my pronouns with she or her, and then prefer my POI verbally. So I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. So good evening to members of the floor. I'm the first speaker from the government, and our house support the inclusion of feminist narratives in the advertisement of fashion and beauty products. So firstly, I'll do some definition. By supporting this inclusion of feminist narratives and advertisement of women's products, we are advocating this inclusion of feminist narratives in the advertisement of these products, create an advertisement that picture women as empowered, diverse, and multi-dimensional individual, breaking from unrealistic standards that have been set by this traditional society and that have been perpetuated in this past. So our parameter is we will set this fashion and beauty products into women's category, and our advertisement ways includes TV advertisement, social media, posters, flyers, and other sorts of media. Our house's core today is we will let women embrace their own uniqueness in any sort of way, because beauty standards should not be defined. Regardless of what shapes you are black or white, you are beautiful in your own way. So today, we will be accounting a few stakeholders. Firstly, is consumer, which is the person who buy these fashion and beauty products. Next, society. And thirdly, this product brand. Our first argument today is break traditional standards. So society often have stereotypes about women roles and also appearance. For example, women's salary should not be higher than men's salary. For example, women must stay in-house to take care of children instead of going out to work. And women's appearance must be thin, and they need to have this perfect body shape in order to be counted as beautiful. So by doing this, by including these feminist narratives in advertisement, we are breaking these beauty standards. We are telling this consumer that no matter what you look, you are unique, you are beautiful in your own way, and you deserve to be valued by society. We are challenging normals. We are encouraging women to believe in themselves. And while buying these products, consumer will acknowledge their value because these products have this feminist narratives included. And while when the consumer is buying these products, they will always be reminded that they are unique. Next argument, social responsibility. Because feminism is a very hot topic these days, and people always discuss about feminism. So by doing this, this product's brand can actually promote good values and positive image that they telling this consumer that we care about you as well. Society cares about you as well. You are not alone. So as part of the society, brands should promote this issue so that more people can acknowledge this issue. More people can know that we need to strive for feminism. And feminism shouldn't be looked down on because this is a serious issue. And by including these feminism narratives in advertisement, these products are always reminding consumer that they know them and society cares about them as much as they care about themselves. It can inspire more stable and more respectful society. And my third argument is this can increase brand loyalty, because when this type of feminism product brand is including feminist narrative in their advertisement, it can empower and embracing this feminist, connecting this consumer with the brand. Because by putting feminist value in these beauty products, in these beauty products that female use every day, for example, makeup products, skincare products, and clothing, it can create an emotional link with their target audience and thus increase the brand loyalty, gaining more trust from their consumer and also bring economic impact to the society. Because consumers are most likely to buy things from the brand they trust and from the brand that have the same value with them as well. So if this brand actually cares about this feminism issue, and the consumer knows that, wow, the brand that my makeup brand actually cares about us as female, and I will have more trust in the brand and more likely to continue buying things from that kind of brand. So this count as a useful, effective marketing strategy while sending positive message to the society. So our burden of proof for opposition is that you must prove feminist narrative in advertising this fashion beauty products are unnecessary and why they cannot bring any benefits to society and also to this nation economy. So before I end my speech, I will restate our core values today. We are letting this society, we are letting our consumer knows that our brands care about them. We are sending positive message to the consumer, to the society, that feminism is a big issue that should be cared about without regardless of your gender. And then by including this element, this feminist elements in our products, we are keep reminding our consumer that you are valued, you are useful, and you should not be looked down on by the society. So, in conclusion, inclusion of these feminist narratives in advertisement of fashion and beauty products is a very effective step to create a more respectful and equitable society. And by embracing this policy, we can create a world where advertisement can not only promote products and sell products, but advertisement can also be an effective way to send powerful message to inspire positive change to the society. And with this, I'll end my speech. Never be prouder to propose. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Prime Minister, for that speech. Now calling upon the Leader of Opposition. Here.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes to both.
All right. Good afternoon, Honorable Chair, distinguished members of the government, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I stand before you to put forward our opinion regarding the motion. We do not support the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisements of fashion and beauty products. Allow me to define this motion to you. Feminism is the social, political, and ideological movement that advocates for the equal rights, opportunities, and the treatment of all genders, with a particular focus on promoting and empowering women. Now, the core belief of feminism is that women have usually historically been marginalized and oppressed in various aspects of society, and it seeks to address and rectify these inequalities. Now, feminism narratives refer to the storytelling or communication that centers on themes of gender equality, women's rights, and challenging traditional gender roles and norms. And these narratives aim to promote the empowerment of women, dismantling structures and addressing issues such as sexism, discrimination, and gender-based violence. As such, given this definition, it can be concluded that the term advertisements of fashion and beauty products, advertisement of fashion and beauty products refer to the promotional content, typically in the form of visual or audio-visual media, which promotes and markets various fashion and beauty-related items, which include clothing, accessories, skincare, hair care, and fragrances as well. Today, the opposition will be speaking on why it's of the utmost importance we do not support the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisements of fashion and beauty products. I shall be starting with a few introductory points on that matter. Following that, taking the floor will be my second speaker, who will not only elaborate on why we do not support this matter, but will speak on why any points brought up by our worthy opponents, could not possibly justify supporting this topic. Lastly, my third speaker will be delivering a summary of all arguments brought up and will refute any statements brought up by the opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, it is essential to recognize that supporting the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisement of fashion and beauty products there is always a potential risk of reinforcing certain stereotypes. In an attempt to portray women as empowered and independent, advertisers might focus solely on certain aspects of empowerment, which can lead to a narrow representation of women. For example, showcasing only women who conform to traditional beauty standards or are highly successful in their careers may reinforce the stereotype that women must meet the specific criteria to be considered empowered. In some cases, feminist narratives in advertisements might inadvertently reinforce traditional gender roles by promoting stereotypical ideas of femininity and masculinity, and it limits the understanding of gender diversity and expression. Supporting the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisement of fashion and beauty products opens a doorway for more stereotypes to make way through to our society that should not, and I repeat, should not be allowed. In the modern era, the notion of beauty products are being exclusively reserved for women has been decisively shattered. Accepted?
Can you prove that how by including more feminist narrative in advertisement, you are actually open the doors to stereotypes?
It gives a way for those who do not already support this to believe that only women are allowed to support this topic and that men are being completely disregarded. Now, moving on. In the modern era, the notion of beauty products being exclusively reserved for women has been decisively shattered. More and more men are embracing the idea that self-care and grooming are not only the essential but empowering. Gone are the days of rigid stereotypes, which dictate masculinity. And today, progressive men boldly embrace the skincare and hair care routines, and with unapologetic confidence as well. And this transformation is also a testament to the evolving understanding of a personal care as a universal right, which transcends gender boundaries. As the beauty industry widens, men confidently assert their right to look and feel their best, proving that the pursuit of self-expression and self-assurance knows no gender bounds. As much as it is bad to say that most men feel this way about feminism and they cannot buy something that is catered towards women, but it impacts the economy in the long run. Men should be able to use these products as well. In the ongoing debate surrounding the use of feminist narratives in fashion and beauty advertisements, it's as clear as day that many companies often adopt these themes only as a promotional strategy rather than an actual commitment to advance gender equality. While these ads may promote or champion, if you may say, women's empowerment and inclusion, the primary goal for these companies is to deliberately use the growing demand for socially conscious products. It leaves feminism as a trendy marketing tool to attract consumers and increase the profits of these shops or businesses. In conclusion, while we acknowledge the importance of promoting gender equality and empowering women, we must approach the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisements of fashion and beauty products with caution. As the first speaker on the opposition side, I've highlighted the potential risks of opportunistic representation that can show harmful stereotypes can affect feminism. Our concern lies in the growing trend of companies using these feminist themes only for the purpose of promotional gains and not demonstrating an actual commitment to advancing gender equality in their practices and policies, or so on. As responsible consumers and customers, it's important to demand more from the brand, to push them to go beyond the marketing tactic. And so we can embrace a truly transformative approach to fostering gender equality within the fashion and beauty industry and beyond, eventually making our world a safer and less toxic place for everyone. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Leader of Opposition, for that speech. Now calling upon the Deputy Prime Minister. Here.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, to both.
Okay, so my preferred gender pronouns are she, her, and I prefer my POIs to be verbal. And I'll start my and I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. So opposition, have a taste of reality. When we look up at the advertisements, we see women with huge curves, with full lips, beautiful eyes, and they're standing in front of their products and promoting them. And those women who don't look like perfect goddesses, what are they going to think? They'll think, hey, maybe I'm not up to the standards. Maybe I'm not worthy of this product. Maybe I'm not suitable for this. And that is the core of our side's today's argument. So before I expand on why we are supporting this, I'll first make some of the rebuttals for the first speaker's speech and then just linking it back to our side today. So the first thing that the first speaker keeps talking about is that men should also have the opportunity to buy these products as well, and we should also simultaneously care about men's rights. But my first speaker has stated in her perimeter that we are only talking about products that are typically for women, that are typically used by women. And I don't see the first speaker challenging this definition at all. So this one does not stand. Okay, and the second thing is the potential risk of stereotypes. The opposition keeps talking about that if you include this kind of feminist stuff in your advertisements, it will instead narrow representation and limit expressions of women. But we are telling you that this is not the case. Instead, if you're not including phrases like, oh, you're worth it in your advertisements, you're instead promoting stereotypes. Because in most of these advertisements, those women are like presented as goddesses. They are too beautiful and they are like being objectified. And in your advertisements, beauty standards are defined. But in our case today, by including this feminine narratives, we're instead not defining beauty standards and letting women, while buying these products, recognize their own value. Because the scenario I have visioned in the very first part of my speech, when we implement this policy, when we have included these feminine narratives, they will think that they are actually worth it. They deserve it. And they won't think that, hey, I'm not up to standards. Maybe it's not my worth. We are helping the women recognize their own value and making them more confident. Okay, and then so we are going to help them become more satisfied with themselves, and there will be a decrease of appearance anxiety and low self-esteem. So they'll live a healthier life and have more dignity in themselves. And they'll have, of course, more self-acceptance. And then another thing that the opposition has said that maybe the advertisements are just using for promotional purposes. They are just using to promote their products and for opportunistic uses and not actually caring about this feminist core. But that is what the purpose of ad is. Ad is used. There is no wrong for ads trying to promote their products. There is no wrong for ads trying to make a great impression. And yes, you might say that ads are only focusing on promoting their products. But if at the same time you can send positive images and inspire the society, you're like killing two birds with one stone. So why not? Why not implement this policy? So I don't think that this promotional use actually stands for the opposition, and that is entirely still in our case. So, and another thing is that because like advertisements, you can see them every day on the television, on posters, whatever. It's like so we can blast out. Sorry, no, we can blast out all these messages to the public, and we can actually promote feminism and educate them on this, because encouragement is also another form of empowerment itself, and feminism still has lots of battles to fight. Although yes, in most countries females have been given the fundamental human rights, but still you can see that in the top levels of working environments, females still have a lower percentage of this employment rates. And yes, your POI.
Right. You pointed out about promotion and how there is no issue with promotion. We fully agree with that. However, that does not tackle the issue of companies using feminism as a means to gain money.
Well, I'd like to hear about how your second speaker can tell about how, because I don't think that really influences this, because it doesn't matter if they are, because advertisements, they are companies are pulling money into advertisements to make a big impression. So although this might sound, but it doesn't really matter at all, because what we are caring most about this year is that we are giving impact to our society, and that's the most important thing in our debate today and what we have to prove today. So I hope that your second speaker or third speaker can answer my first speaker's burden of proof. So I'm going to make and another thing I have to mention is it actually has more economic value, because when females, they feel like they're worth it and they already have self-acceptance rooted in their own hearts, they'll feel more comfortable and more confident when buying their products. So that will definitely increase revenue and therefore help boost the economy. So I'm going to make a few conclusions in our case. So the first thing is, this is going to be a breakthrough for the stereotypes of women, because we are not defining the beauty standards anymore. Oh, and the opposition has said that it will limit expressions, but we are telling you not, because when we include like things like you are worth it on the advertisements, we can tell people that no matter you're fat, no matter you're skinny, no matter you're black, no matter you're white, no matter you're Chinese, you can still use this products. You deserve it. And then by doing this, we can also simultaneously portray other women of different races in it, because that just aligns with our motion today and our motive for today. And then we're also improving the attitude of women, and we are also giving education and helping the economic. And that's why we're so proud to propose. Thank you.
All right, we thank the DPM for their speech. Now calling upon the Deputy Leader of Opposition. Here.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Honorable Chair, worthy members of the opposition, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the opposition stands to argue that this House should not support the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisements for fashion and beauty products. Now, while the government has given us some well-written and defined points, I'm here to speak on why said points are entirely invalid. Firstly, I will be rebutting a few statements made by the government. Once again, to address the speaker's points concerning promotion, we are not at all saying that we have an issue with promotion. That would simply be absurd. We understand that brands need to advertise their products in order to garner profit. That, however, does not tackle today's motion and debate on companies using feminism to gain money that is then often used for selfish motives, rather than to further help uplift women. This is something that I will be speaking about further in my next points. I'll be moving on to a few of my own points now. Upon first hearing this topic, it may seem like a no-brainer to support the motion. I mean, is uplifting women and promoting feminism not important? Of course it is, and the opposition fully recognizes that. However, we beg you to ask yourself this: is this the way to go about promoting feminism? As defined by my first speaker, feminism is the advocating for equal rights in regards to both men and women. It is undeniable that gender equality is not something that can be achieved easily. We've seen this in how, after hundreds of years, women are still treated as less than men. This is something that the opposition feels will not at all change by simply putting uplifting slogans on beauty products. Does it not seem ingenuine? Does it not seem as though these large companies are taking advantage of their customers? We believe that it does. These companies do not care about the people buying whatever products they are putting out, regardless of whether that is makeup or clothes. Rather, what they do care about is the money that they can earn from said sales. So what do they do? They cater. They switch formulas, lower prices to make products more accessible and arguably accepted.
So yes, ad is mainly for promoting products, but if advertisement at the same time can also send a positive message to the society, why not kill two birds with one stone?
Yes, that is actually something I address later on in my speech, so allow me to get to that. Thank you. As I was saying, what is arguably the worst is that companies claim to support a cause that they don't really care all too much about. To them, this is simply a way of getting money. It is manipulation at its finest, appealing to a certain demographic just to sell a product. The government must see our qualms with this notion, especially speaking from a moral standpoint. Furthermore, just imagine the amount of money that these companies spend on manufacturing and promoting these products. It may not seem like it, but something as simple as a product packaging can add up to millions of dollars. That is without factoring the cost of hiring people and everything else that happens between the points in which a product is made and when it hits the shelves. Be reminded that this is money that could have gone to actually promoting feminism directly. It could have gone to charities, organizations, NGOs, all that help in uplifting women further and achieving actual equality among the sexes. Taking these measures to ensure gender inequality and the hardships that women face directly, rather than just relying on the fact that a person will take their own measures to get closer to equality, all because of a few inspiring words, is absurd. The opposition strongly believes that this not only would help better in the long run, but would also help in getting the whole narrative of feminism across so much better than just
Joanne,
words
please.
accepted.
You have said that there are other better ways to promote feminism, but in ads, we have seen that females are being put into the objectification situation. So don't you think this is the best way to start in promoting feminism? That ads are the best way to start from?
We believe that ads do help in promoting feminism. That is undeniable. However, we think that it is absurd that companies spend millions of dollars simply to manufacture a product that they then generate most of the income from. Thank you for your POI again. As I was saying, this will help so much better in the long run than getting the narrative of feminism across from simply the words "love yourself" on a box of makeup. It could be argued that the profits of these companies are going to support the causes. However, the opposition asks, are you really sure that that is true? More often than not, companies keep large percentages of their earnings, percentages that could go on towards a greater cause. And while yes, companies do need to earn a profit as well, this would not at all be an issue if the company were to simply donate money directly, rather than just having to spend millions of dollars first to produce something. Furthermore, most brands cater towards a very specific type or group of people. It's upsetting, of course, but it's undeniable. As much as we hate to perpetuate stereotypes, it is true that clothing brands cater to those who are more slim, or that makeup is directed at a very specific community. While yes, we are seeing some improvements in this regard, the generalization is undoubtedly still the case. As such, once again, the opposition feels as though brands and companies are simply jumping on this bandwagon of acceptance and love, simply for their own personal gain, simply because it is a trending topic at this point in time. The government may agree that any progress is good progress, but we ask, what's going to happen when the next bit of news or uprising comes about? The opposition firmly agrees that gender equality is something that we should continue to work towards. However, we cannot dispute the fact that eventually people will start, in a sense, caring less about it. Our world is a fast-moving one, with people jumping from issues to issues without fully making a positive impact or solving issues entirely. To conclude my speech, given all this evidence, the opposition firmly stands with the fact that this House should not support the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisements and beauty products. As much as we wish that gender equality can be achieved with something as simple as this, that is just a flat-out pipe dream. Not only is this something, let me rephrase that. Not only is this something used simply for a brand's personal gain and income, but it reduces feminism to something as insignificant as a beauty product. As such, the opposition would like to reiterate, once again, that we should not support the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisements of beauty and fashion products. Rather, we should strive towards achieving the goals of feminism with more direct methods. Thank you.
All right, we thank the DLO for its speech. Now calling upon GovWhip. Here.
Am I visible and audible?
Yes to both.
Right, I would like to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. First of all, I'd like to make a few clarifications. So the opposition team has mentioned that by actually having like feminist slogans and narratives, they are actually companies are actually doing this just for money. But that is not true. Let me ask you, why does this ad exist? To actually gain eyeballs and actually gain popularity and for the cash while actually having to promote feminism. So if ad is already there to exist just to earn money, why can't we just add these feminist elements into products that they want to promote? And we're not saying that just because the efforts done by beauty companies is like minimal just because they only add slogans does not mean that we have to actually eradicate this entire idea just because it doesn't have that much effort. And also the opposition team has mentioned that the profit that the companies earn is simply should be redirected towards actually working up the feminism organization. But I don't think that it concerns the public how these businesses would be spending their money that they have earned by selling their products. The opposition team is saying that they are gaining a lot of profit, and that's why they have to redirect this cash flow to actually feminism and greater causes. But let's actually try to tackle this. Let's see how realistic this idea is. You are saying that just because a company earns a lot of cash, they must redirect their cash and actually spend it on greater causes, which I find it to be is unrealistic and absurd. Yes, I'll take your PI.
We are not at all saying that we should eradicate advertising and feminist advertising entirely. However, we are saying that companies should put more of a focus on addressing feminism directly, as that is where the main root of all issues that women face come from.
Right. I would like to address this issue as I agree that feminism should be addressed and actually people should be more focused on this. But you are forcing companies to actually focus on this issue when it simply does not concern them at all. Just because they are saying slogans does not mean that they have to have the entire company to be focused on this cause of actually feminism. You could support feminism, but still not have to actually still have to affect your entire company, which what my team is trying to argue for. And also I would like to say that the beauty and the fashion industry is like has like major platforms, company and organization, and it is a competitive industry because there are so many other companies and businesses that would in fact try to catch the eyes of different people and actually try to gain popularity. And the reason of having popularity and fame is so important in this market is because more fame means more consumers. So with like a major support from the public and the acknowledgement of this particular company or brand in the beauty or fashion industry, companies or businesses would in fact be able to increase the prices of their product, therefore gaining bigger margin of profit. So if a company wants to strive in an industry, they must in fact have more consumers, therefore gaining more profit. So to simply try to pinpoint the target of this entire beauty industry, we would in fact find out that the major consumers of this beauty products and fashion clothing and so on is basically on women. Why? Because women are in fact the most active buyers and consumers of this in this industries, because they have beauty standards that they wish to pursue and therefore gain better popularity. So I will take the PI first.
So is the government claiming that you are all right with companies profiting off of feminism? Is this ethical? Is this logical? Is this sincere? Do you claim that profiting off of feminism is a good thing? You're taking advantage of it.
We are not taking advantage of actually promoting feminism. I'm saying that we could in fact actually be promoting feminism while also gaining profit. So why is it a loss situation when it's a win-win for both sides? Not just we can actually spread awareness about feminism, but we could in fact still also be gaining profit. And even if there wouldn't be any profit, we would in fact still be more happy to actually promote this feminism. And so, as I was saying, it is very well established that organization is and companies have to actually ensure the satisfaction actually suffice to the flattery needed to persuade these women to actually buy their products. So when you look at all of the major makeup brands, fashion stores, or even beauty products, almost every single one of them, like Dove, L'Oreal, Zara Fashions, NARS Cosmetics, and so many more, they are actually learning to actually try to respect these women, and by complimenting them and making them to feel good about themselves. And of course, these types of so-called feminist narratives is acceptable because it doesn't even propose an idea of hatred or any hate crimes to anyone. As a matter of fact, it even spreads a good message. So let's be realistic. If a woman was to see two different brand stores and one has a flattering comment and one simply does not compliment them, I feel like she would definitely be more attracted to the one that has the compliment undoubtedly. There is no reason that companies wouldn't want to take these factors as a way to actually promote their company, and therefore actually having more consumers and actually gaining more popularity and fame. And also, I would like to actually conclude the things that I have said. So first of all, we will be able to, my first speaker has mentioned that we will be able to break traditional standards, and we would also be able to actually raise awareness about feminism. And second and third of all, companies not just would be able to actually spread the message about feminism and actually gain rights for women, but they would also be able to gain a bigger profit. So if all of these are in fact a contributing factor to actually saying that how feminist narratives in companies could in fact benefit so many companies and so many stakeholders, why is it that we are against this so much? With that, I've never been prouder to actually propose. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gavit, for that speech. Now calling upon opposition whip. Here.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good afternoon, Honorable Adjudicator, the worthy government, ladies and gentlemen. This has been an extremely eventful debate. However, with all arguments presented by the government, we still strongly believe that we should not support the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisements of fashion and beauty products. I would first like to rebut a claim from the first speaker. Firstly, the Prime Minister speaks on body positivity. And yes, I agree. Of course, we should be more body positive. It seemed undeniable, right? However, we must acknowledge that there is a limit to what extent we can promote different body types. As upsetting as it is, what if someone is overtly overweight, so much so that it impacts their personal health? While we would love for everyone to feel comfortable with themselves, it must be recognized that we should not be promoting unhealthy living. Rather, we should encourage self-improvement. Now, I know what you're thinking. In this modern society, you'd want to change and promote feminism in any sort of way. However, we must think of this in a separate light. We cannot just term feminist narratives in advertisements of fashion and beauty products good or beneficial. This statement simply lacks depth and solidity. As it becomes on the surface, it seems like a good idea, but deep down, it is a terrible, terrible idea. Now, let me tell you why. Throughout history, there has been a lot of unfair treatment between men and women. Men being expected to be the breadwinner and women to stay at home to care for their homes and children. Not only that, there has been so many societal expectations for women. However, feminism is not just about that. Modern feminism recognizes that gender discrimination intersects with other forms of oppression, such as race, class, sexuality, ability, and so much more. Intersectionality acknowledges that experiences of discrimination are shaped by multiple aspects of a person's identity. By inserting feminism narratives, like as mentioned before in the motion, I'm worth it or love your curves, do you not think that this oversimplifies and misrepresents complex feminist issues to fit into a short marketing message? We are overlooking the true message of feminism. We are overlooking the underlying problem in our society by just simply promoting it as one line. Just like what my worthy speakers have said before, it is truly just a marketing strategy. Do you really think that companies truly care about this? Because at the end of the day, it is a profit for them. Companies know that using narratives such as above would gain support and attention from the public, and it would be shared widely. Yes, you may think that this is a good thing, as the government claims numerously that it is the sole purpose of an advertisement. However, it is not genuine. It is not pure. It is not sincere. The heart is not there. Companies are taking advantage of feminism. Do we seriously want this? This completely destroys the fundamental purpose of feminism. We are not trying to promote feminism in a shallow way. We are trying to change the hearts of people. Our world lacks purity and authenticity. So should we not strive to improve this as well? We should not use feminism. Accepted?
Would you prefer a company not to have any comments about feminism rather than have a feminism comment that you would think that is to promote the company?
We strongly believe that if a company wants to support feminism, they should result into donating charities instead and using their money for things that are so much more important. Let me continue. We should not use feminism as a way to promote brands, as it is completely unethical. Where is the integrity? Where is the nobility and sincerity? I ask you, would you want companies to toy on your rights that are already limited? Do you want them to take advantage of your rights? Obviously not, because it is completely absurd. Furthermore, rather than paying so much of your attention and time and effort and money into hiring people to come up with non-genuine promotional values for your company on feminism, why can't we use this time and effort to bring out the authenticity of feminism and donate to, like what my first speaker mentioned, charities, NGOs, campaigns? It is seriously not that difficult to do. So, in conclusion of this debate, I would like to summarize our points as a refresher.
Firstly, please.
Accepted.
Well, don't you think that self-identity is also a core of feminism? And don't you think we're doing just that?
I think that, yes, though advertisements might help with self-identity, we should change the universal view of self-identity instead. Just looking at one product isn't going to make you, well, maybe it might, but it's not the same if everyone's mindset is changed to think about this so that it is more genuine. At least you know that people are not just telling white lies in front of your face. First, so let me continue my summary of today's debate. Firstly, males use beauty products as well. Most men would tend to drive away from things they truly want to do when they see that everything is catered to women. It is a loss on both ends. By excluding men from their marketing strategies, companies are missing out on potential profits from a significant demographic. Furthermore, men who feel discouraged from using beauty products may be missing out on the benefits of such products, such as healthy skin and improved self-esteem. Undoubtedly, companies only use this as a promotion. It is not genuine. We need to strive for a more genuine world and make sure that equality of both genders is pure. Yes, this may help for a short period of time, just for a while, but in the long run, nothing would have changed. Furthermore, beauty products use narratives such as "you are enough" or "I'm worth it." But if you're enough and worth it, why do you need beauty products? This promotes people away from their products because they are advocating for loving your natural self. Rather than spending money on actually helping feminism and making advancements in the sector by donating, brands choose to spend their money on promoting their products. Lastly, the use of short narratives oversimplifies and misrepresents complex feminist issues to fit into short marketing messages. We are undermining the true essence of feminism, which proves pointless in the end. Now, you asked for an alternative way of promoting feminism, and we have delivered it. As said before, if beauty brands truly care about feminism, they should donate to charities, donate to NGOs that campaign to change the treatment of women in the right and proper way. Ultimately, feminist narratives are only pleasant to the public eye. It only works in the short run, because in reality, nothing would have changed. It is in the last minute. This is simply the sad reality of our world. With that, I will reiterate our stance. This house does not support the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisements of fashion and beauty products. I would say much more, but I'm afraid time is not in my favor. With that, I end my speech. Thank you.
All right, we thank Ob for that speech. That wraps up the substantive portion of this debate. Now calling upon Ob reply. Here.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Adjudicators, opposition, ladies and gentlemen, this debate truly has been an insightful one on both ends. However, it remains that one side will always prevail, and the opposition firmly stands with its stance regarding the House's motion. Still, allow me to recount everything that we have said throughout the duration of this debate and rebut some of the claims made by the government. Firstly, the third speaker mentioned that feminism does not affect companies. We believe that this could not be further from the truth. Feminism, and more accurately, gender equality, impacts every single soul on this planet. It impacts the people buying the very products that these companies produce, and as a result, the companies themselves. That cannot be disputed. Secondly, the government seems to be continuously backtracking on what they have said. I ask, are you using feminism as a means to promote or not? Because if the answer is yes, then we believe that that is entirely morally wrong. Every day, women face hardships, are met with cruelty. So how can you say that something like this could be used to put money into the pockets of huge companies? Well, yes, awareness is getting raised regarding feminism. That does not give leeway for companies to be able to do this. That does not change the fact that women are still being treated unequally. Lastly, as mentioned, we are not at all saying that advertising in regards to uplifting women should be eradicated as a whole. Rather, we are saying that companies should put more of a focus on addressing feminism with a more direct approach, such as we mentioned, donating to charities or organizations. The companies should not be first spending millions of dollars in order to manufacture and advertise a product, money that could go to better helping women, as we have said. Now, allow me to deliver a very brief summary of everything we have said during this debate, as well as our most prominent points. Firstly, companies are using feminism to promote their products. This is something entirely wrong, as we have reiterated on several accounts. This, rather than just helping address the issues that women face directly, companies choose to first gain profit for themselves. This is entirely selfish. How can we encourage this at all? They are simply, as I mentioned, gaining a profit for themselves. We also believe that movements such as these are simply a bandwagon for companies to jump on and off in order to gain profit. While we wish that this wasn't the case and then companies actually did care about their consumers, that is entirely inaccurate and would simply be lies. The opposition is simply putting forward the truth, and we urge the government to recognize this. With that, I would like to conclude my reply. The opposition remains to strongly believe that the government will fall. We continue to firmly remain with our stance, believing that we should not support the inclusion of feminist narratives in advertisements of fashion and beauty products. We see that while, yes, women can be uplifted by this, there is so much more harm done rather in comparison to the good. Companies are earning more, yes, but at what cost? This is something that we believe should be absolutely limited. And we believe that the government's responses to some of our statements do not provide factual enough claims to back up their points. And as such, we strongly believe that while, yes, it is important to uplift feminism, this is not the way to go about it. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Op-Reply, for that speech. Now for the final speech in this entire tournament, Gov-Reply, here.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, to both.
So I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. So firstly, I will do some clarification. So first, there is nothing wrong with wanting to be beautiful. Everyone wants to make good impression to others. So buying beauty products doesn't mean that you have no self-esteem at all. Next, you mentioned that companies should actually create a more direct approach by doing donations to these societies. But why waiting for others to support feminism when you, as the brand, you have a lot of influence when you can do this by yourself? And then you mentioned the opposition mentioned that company only do this for the money, but that's just not true. So ad existed to promote the brand, to promote something to gain money. So if ad is already exist to earn money, what is wrong with adding these feminism elements on the ad itself? It can gain more money, sure. This is something beneficial to this brand. But in the same time, this can also send a positive impact, send a positive message to the society. So what you are doing is you are killing two birds with one stone. So why not doing this? And I would like to do some comparison. Oh yeah, before that, we do not deny that there are other ways to promote feminism. Yes, there are a lot of ways, but advertisement is a very powerful and a very effective way to promote, because advertisement itself is influential and advertisement can reach out to a lot of people. That is why it is called advertisement. So using advertisement as one of the ways to promote feminism is actually very effective. So comparison. Opposition is someone who is so full of denial and narrow-minded. You think that advertisement can only be used just for promoting products, but our house tell you that this is not the case. So when you can promote something while sending positive image to the society, why not doing so? Even if they want to catch eyeball, they are not wrong. Advertisement is used for catching eyeball. So this is an ad. They can use this at any ways to catch eyeballs. And government, we are someone who is more all-rounded. We are caring for more stakeholders, because we are not only benefiting this product's brand by helping them to earn more money, at the same time, we are creating a good impact to the society. So by proving this, I think that government win this case, because we are standing in a bigger, we are standing bigger, and then we are caring for more stakeholders. So in conclusion, what our house has argued today is, firstly, by including these feminist elements in this advertisement, we are breaking traditional women's standard, because fashion and beauty products have long been criticized for promoting harmful stereotypes about women's roles and appearance, and these often stated women should have certain standards, and by doing this, we are breaking this. Next, social responsibility, because advertisement is not mainly for promoting products. It is a very effective way to send positive message to the society as well. And thirdly, this can include brand loyalty, because consumers are more likely to believe, more likely to buy things from the brand that they trust, because this is creating a very big emotional link with their target audience. So by proving this, government should win this debate. Never be prouder to propose. Thank you.
All right, thank you, GovReply, for the speech. That marks the end of this debate. Again, there will be no OA, so you guys can just return to the main call, and the announcements will be made at, I think it should be 4 o'clock or something like that. I'll just stay behind, I'll fill in the ballot, and I'll submit the results. So congratulations on making it this far, and best of luck for break announcements.
Thank you, everyone. It was a great debate. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You guys did really well.
Thank you, everyone. You guys.
Thank you.